AM 1340, FM 92.1, WCSR. It is the Timeout Show for a Wednesday, now a Tuesday night. That's going to take me a while to get used to. Tuesday night. Very simple. My kids are playing baseball every Wednesday night. So we're doing Tuesdays this summer, and I want to thank Paul for switching with me. And then back when we get a little closer into the fall, we'll be back on Wednesdays. We've got a special show for you tonight. Jacki Clark, who is a Camden Frontier graduate and a professional football player of the Toledo Reign women's pro football team. We're going to talk football with Jacki in a minute. Martin and Rick are here to preview the Tiger game, so a full 40 minutes of the show tonight before we meet the network at 6:40. I've known Jacki Clark as long as I can remember. She was a superstar high school athlete in Hillsdale County and has gone on to continue her athletic career her entire life. Jacki, thanks for being here.
No problem. Thank you, Andy.
I remember you at Camden where you dominated a track, and we were just sitting here trying to remember all of your records. I knew that you had a couple, and I was going to check today, but I forgot to do it. You are the record holder for the 100?
Yes, and I set a state record that year. State
record in the 100. And then what else do you have the record for?
The 800 meters, the 2-mile relay.
100, 800, and 2-mile relay, which is also an 800.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, I mean, those are two really different races. The 100's a flat-out sprint. The 800's a half a mile. You had some versatility back in those days, huh?
Yeah, that year I actually won both. So it was pretty cool.
State titles.
Yes, sir.
So a multiple state champion. Was Murph your coach?
Yes.
And Teresa Padilla?
Yes.
Teresa Padilla won 4 consecutive state championships in cross country. So I'm guessing we won some track meets back in those days.
We did a few. Our numbers were low, but we had a lot of heart, and that kind of pulled us through on some of them.
Graduate high school, you kept competing. Tell us what you did after your high school career ended.
After high school, I got into roller speed skating, did that for a while, ended up with a stress fracture in my leg, and then went on to college and ran when my son was about 2. And then I was an All-American honorable mention there. So
where'd you run at?
Siena Heights University.
Awesome. And what events did you do at Siena?
The mile relay and the 2-mile relay.
That mile relay is brutal. That quarter mile is just a flat-out sprint. So you did all of that. You'd already had an injury with the speed skating stuff. You already had a child at that point, and then you continued on, All-American at Siena Heights, honorable mention. A couple of years ago, you got involved with football. Now, I had Matt as one of our players down at Camden, and so I got to know a little bit about this. I think when anybody hears about women's football, for a lot of people who haven't really heard about it, the eyebrow goes up, and they're like, what are you talking about? What are you, when you talk about women's professional football, Jacki, what are you talking about? Talk about the sport, and then we'll talk about you and your team.
We're talking about women's professional tackle football, full pads, full gear. We use a combination of high school and college rules. We use high school officials. We're on a regulation field. It's full go.
It's on.
It's on.
It's on. Full go.
And the women are mean.
You're laying people out. You're out there attacking it and going after it. As far as when you heard about it, or how did you get into it? How did you get into women's football?
I actually heard about it probably about 12 years ago. My mom lives in Georgia. I was down there and was just kind of looking at football and saw that they had a tryout. I was going to go down there, never went down, and then about a year before I started playing, just started Googling it, saw Toledo had a team, went and caught their last game of the season, and I was in from there.
How long have you been doing it?
This is my 5th season.
Let's talk about the injuries and the toll on your body, because I know you've had, since you were a kid, you've had multiple surgeries, multiple different injuries. What toll has playing professional football had on your body?
It's been really hard on my knee. Before I started playing football, playing slow pitch softball, I tore my PCL, had that completely reconstructed, and been playing with that. So no cartilage in the knee, and a lot of arthritis is, a lot of pain. I'm kind of probably going to have my knee replaced about 5 years earlier than I planned.
So you have no cartilage in your knee.
Correct.
You play quarterback, right?
Yes, I play some quarterback, some two-back.
So you're running.
Yes.
And you have arthritis issues and that sort of thing?
Oh, yes, You know
when it's going to rain and all that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
So you've had all these surgeries. Now, I know that you had retired a year or two ago, and then you got back into it, right?
Well, I kind of retired at the end of last season, but we had a change of defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, kind of a change of direction. My head coach kind of really wanted me to come back. She thought the offense was a lot geared for me, and I'm really glad I went back. I'm not sure how much after this season I'll be able to play. Right. It's really rough on you.
Now, I want to tell the listeners, because I talked to Jacki about this before we went on the air, and I would never, ever do this on a normal basis. But I asked Jacki, how old are you? And I'm 37, and you are a couple years older than me. You're 41 now.
Yes.
And, you're still in spectacular condition, spectacular shape. You're a professional athlete, for heaven's sakes. And to be still playing quarterback and running back at 41 years old in a professional football league, that's a heck of an accomplishment. You've got to be proud of that.
I am, and I'm definitely not one of the oldest on the teams and in the league. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I think the oldest in our league is 56.
Wow.
And she plays out of Cleveland, I believe.
Okay, so you get together and you have these games. You mentioned the offense a couple of minutes ago. Sort of in layman's terms, what are you guys running? Are you running a lot of passes? Is it a run-focused offense? What are you running offensively in a women's football league?
Everybody does a little bit different. We run a lot of pistol offense, a lot of options, quick slants. You don't really have a lot of time to throw. So the option works well, reverses. Pretty much the same offense that high schools and colleges run.
Same stuff.
Same stuff.
Same. You showed me some of your stuff. It looked good, actually. It was probably better than what I was trying to run a couple of years ago. Jacki Clark is with us. She's a Camden Frontier graduate. She's a professional football player for the Toledo Reign, and they've got an event coming up June 9th at Camden Frontier High School, the Reign versus the Dynamite. You can check this all out on ToledoReign.com. That's THEE, ToledoReign.com, and get all the information. But this is cool. This is right in our county, Camden Frontier High School on the big game field there. June 9th coming up. Tell us what people can look for on June 9th.
Well, on June 9th, most people are just going to get to see women's football for the first time and see that, it's the real deal. It's not the lingerie league. We're going to be, full gear, hitting hard. We just actually played Kentucky and lost by 2 this past weekend on their field. So I'm pretty confident that we'll have a win that night. You're also going to see Matt Lair, who's a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He's going to be at the game. He's with one of our sponsors, the Body by Vi. It's just going to be phenomenal. We're going to have a veterans appreciation at halftime. All vets, you get in for $2 less, and we're actually going to recognize them at halftime.
$6 to get in, $4 for veterans on June 9th, and that's at Camden Frontier High School, 7 o'clock p.m. This is something that I think this is cool because this is something that I don't know we've ever had in Hillsdale County before. It's different. It's a kind of a once, I don't want to say in a lifetime, but it's not something that happens all the time right here in Hillsdale County. This is something different, and I think, men and women who love the game of football are going to have a lot of fun watching you guys play.
Yeah, our fans range from, young children to old men and women. It's just interesting to see, and if you've never seen it before, I've played this is my 5th season, and there's people in Hillsdale County that still don't know I play.
Jacki, is it tough though? I think I wonder about the reaction that you get when you talk about it. Do people think, football is for men, and women oughtn't be playing it, and obviously it's not going to be good football because it's women. Is that a battle that you've had to face a little bit with people when they've heard about it, or have people been pretty accepting of it?
Pretty much people are just like, wow, they have women's football right. And you play. People that know me know I'm aggressive. No, yeah. I play hard and kind of associate me with being a good athlete. So I really haven't had, most people are like, I didn't even know it was there.
Right on. Yeah.
And they're like, wow, when can we catch a game? And the nice thing about it being in Camden is there's so many people that know me and know that I play but can't get to Toledo.
Right.
We play downtown Toledo. on a Saturday night at 7 o'clock p.m., and people just can't get there. This just happened to fall in where we couldn't get our home field. My son graduates that weekend. It just kind of worked out perfect. The other thing that I really want to mention, because we really appreciate him doing it, Dale Vaughn and his band is going to be playing the post game at the Castaway Campground from 10 to 2. So not only do you get to see the women's football game, but you can come out to the campground, listen to Dale sing, and do a meet and greet with the players.
That's going to be a blast. Dale puts on an awesome show. And you're going to have a blast at the concert and a great time at the game. Saturday, June 9th, women's professional football. You talk about the physicality of it. When women come into practice for the first time who maybe have never played football before, is that something that some of them say, okay, I really, this isn't for me? Or do people find that they really enjoy it right away? What's that transition like for women trying it for the first time?
Most of the women that come out really enjoy it. The difference is we haven't been playing since we were little boys, so the technique is just not there. So what you'll see when you come to the game is a lot of high tackles, and I take a lot of headshots because women don't know to stay low. So I think our biggest battle with our coaching staff is getting women to stay low, tackle low. It really just takes a long time. I mean, you're looking at boys by the time they get to high school, been playing for 10 years, and
and that's true, but it still happens even with them. I mean, they still do it too. So.
Yes, my son did.
The Toledo Rain, TheToledoRain.com, TheToledoRain.com. Jacki Clark, a state champion athlete at Camden Frontier High School, has a bunch of records down there. Went on, and you mentioned real quickly the speed skating stuff. I mean, you were a straight-up stud at speed skating. I mean, you were really, really good at that. And that was not ice, it was roller skates, right?
Correct.
I mean, you've
that
done
at
it
the
all,
stadium.
man. You've done it all.
That was a very intense time in my life. I trained 6 days a week. I think I was 9% body fat. I put out a lot of miles on my skates, on my bike. I was really just, everything I've done has just been 110%, and whatever I got to do. So it was pretty fun. I ended up having to quit because a stress fracture in my leg, and when you get a stress fracture in your leg, you can't really skate. So
no more speed skating at that point.
No.
How about the turnouts for your games? You mentioned you've been able to get some sponsors. I know that financially this has been a challenge to keep the league going. You've talked to me about that before. Have you been able to generate some fan support? Is that an ongoing thing? How has that been?
We're always trying to increase our fan support. We get new players in, we get new fans. We've actually had a lot to do with sponsors this year. The new coaches that came in really just have some connections all over, and have really brought in a lot with that. But it's still a struggle to get people to come out. I'm sure people just think that maybe it's just not going to be a good game, but I'm going to tell you what, those women are on the field to hurt you.
Is there... I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'll check this later and let everybody know. I wonder if any of your film is on YouTube or anything like that, where people could take a look at home and get a taste of it.
If you Google or if you YouTube The Toledo Rain, and it's REIGN.
Right.
I know that there's a short promo with my niece Casey Clark from reading. It's about 20 seconds of her just laying somebody out. Other than that, I'm sure there's a few video clips on there. We get game film on a special site,
right?
And I have DVDs of game film and stuff like that. But as far as online, I'm not real sure of that right now. I know there's some clips on there.
June 9th, 7 p.m., Camden Frontier High School, $6 admission, $4 for vets. You're going to see some real athletes out here. Camden's own Casey Clark, Camden's own Jacki Clark. They're all going to be playing in that game. Some spectacular football right here in Hillsdale County. This is professional football. The Rain, REIGN, versus the Dynamite. Check it out, The Toledo Rain, REIGN.com. Last thing before I let you go, if there's a girl or a woman listening right now who has an interest in doing what you do, playing professional football, how do they get more information? How do they get involved?
Well, really, all you have to do is Google women's football, and there's a team in Detroit, there's a team in West Michigan, we're out of Toledo. The one thing I can say about the Toledo team is we're very professional on and off the field. I love it down there. I could play anywhere, and that's really where I want to play. on our website, which is thetoledorain.com. There's a contact. If you're interested, it's real easy to click a button and show us you're interested.
Do you get women who come and show up and try out who just, your coaches have to say, look, you don't have it, or you don't have the ability or the skill to do it? Or if you go out and you can make it through the training, can you make a team?
Well, pretty much you go through the tryout just to get numbers, just to find out where you're at, what your skills are. And, there's a player's fee, and you're pretty much in. As long as you make the commitment, you sign your contract, and you're in. It's the coach's job to get you ready to play. So
if the contract probably reads, if you get your face taken off, you can't sue the league or anything like that. Is that what the contract is?
It's kind of cool this year because the league actually has a $25 insurance that everybody has to enroll in, and I've already used it twice. So,
all right, there you go.
Along with my Aflac, I make out pretty good during football season.
Jacki, I've been a fan of yours ever since I was in school. I remember watching you run and kind of following your athletic career, and I think this is really cool. Right there at Camden Frontier School on June 9th. It's going to be a fun evening, Saturday night, under the lights at Camden Frontier School on June 9th. Watch the Reign versus the Dynamite. Jacki, have a great game, and thank you for being here.
Thanks, Andy.
Check it out, thetoledorain.com. We'll be back with much more right after this. You're listening to Time Out on AM and FM WCSR.